Hello, in OPOstories from the NBA. Next episode today. My guest is Darrell Armstrong, NBA vet, Orlando Magic legend, and currently assistant in Dallas Mavericks. I'm really happy that I've got opportunity to talk with you. Thank you for find the time. In Poland, we've got 4 a.m. In Indianapolis, there is 10 p.m. Maybe I will start with a question about the beginning of the journey with the basketball. Who was your favorite basketball player when you were a kid?
Well, I mean, I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. There was two guys who played in the NBA from my hometown, James Worthy, who played with the Los Angeles Lakers, and Sleepy Floyd, who played in the NBA with the Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors. So I grew up watching them a little bit and fell in love with basketball later on as a teenager and fell in love with Michael Jordan as basically one of my idols and who I enjoy watching playing basketball. And from there, it just took off for me.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember this moment when you felt that there is a chance to be in the NBA and be an NBA player?
Well, I mean, I was working my way there. I didn't know if I could make it. I came from a small Division II school. I wasn't drafted. Probably wasn't on nobody's draft board. And so, I didn't know it. I was just trying to work my way up, trying to work my way into NBA Summer League camp to try to get into NBA veteran camp and then try to, make the team and go from there. And all those things came true. And that's what happened, especially with the USBL semi-pro league that I played in. That's how I got into NBA Summer League.
Mm-hmm. You start, as I remember, your journey with NBA in the 94-95 season.
Yeah, that was I had been in the summer camp way before that, about 4 years before that. I was in Atlanta. My first summer camp and dealing with any NBA team was with the Atlanta Hawks. And that was my first summer league camp, like they do in Vegas. So I was in their camp, and then the next 2 years I was in Orlando Magic camp. Next 3, I apologize, and then that's when I got picked up.
Mm-hmm. Your journey with official journey with the NBA start with the same like with me with Orlando Magic. So we played in the team with Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway, Horace Grant. It was young, talented team with the hunger of winning. How do you remember the atmosphere in that season?
Well, the atmosphere was great. I was playing in Spain. I was in the ACB league, playing with Orense Spain, and I got the call my last game of the season with Orense that the Orlando Magic was needing some extra help at the point guard, and the next day I flew back to the United States and joined them in Philadelphia for a game, and from there I was with them for the next 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I got to the team, that's the year we went to the NBA championship. We got beat and swept by the Houston Rockets, but the talent and the effort of those young guys was unbelievable, especially my first year and second year. Because my first year, that's when Michael Jordan came back and joined Chicago Bulls, and we beat them in the semifinals. And then the next year, they swept us in the conference finals, and they went on to win another championship. But there was great talent: Shaq, Penny, from Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson. It just went down the list. We had some fresh young talent. Wish those guys could have stayed together. I wish I could have been a part of it as well. for my first 2 years, I never got a chance to really play with those guys, and uh, I thought I could have been someone with some energy to help us on the defensive end, help us with change the pace, but at that time I didn't have the name to be out there, so I missed out on 2 years with Shaq and those guys, and then Shaq left us after my second year. Shaq left and went to LA.
Mm-hmm. You had a great talented team after the Shaq and Anthony era with Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, but lack of luck, definitely. And what was atmosphere in Orlando at this moment? Do you expect that you've got the chance to play in NBA Finals and be back there? What were expectations at those days?
Well, I mean, after we went there the first time, the expectation was we're going to get back then and probably win it next year, and we didn't. We got to the conference finals, and Michael Jordan them beat us and went off to win it. And then when T Mac and Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill got there, we had some good expectation, but we got Grant Hill. When we got him, he was injured, and so that put us out for my last 3 years. He never really played a full season, so it was basically T Mac and our role players that did all the stuff. And excuse me. So we just never got back to where we need to be. My last year, my 9th year with Orlando, we was the 8th seed. Once again, we didn't have Grant Hill for the playoffs, but we got up 3-1 on the number 1 seed team, the Detroit Pistons, and we just couldn't hold on. They came back and won the next 3, and so that was my last year in Orlando. And then I moved on. My journey just moved on to New Orleans and the other team.
Mm-hmm. During your NBA career as a player, you won two awards: Most Improved Player and Sixth Man Award. Which tastes better?
Both of them. Both of them really does, because I'm the only player in the history of basketball to ever win both awards. And for me, the reason it's both is I was coming off of shoulder surgery. I missed the last 32 games of the season the year before with a torn rotator's cuff in my right shoulder. And it's crazy is this is where I found out I had a torn rotator's cuff where we at right now. We was here in Indiana and in the same hotel that we in now, and Chuck Daly was our head coach with the Orlando Magic, and he was the one who told me here in the hotel after I did my MRI. I did it here in Indiana. We flew in town, and he was the one who told me the next day I'm gonna miss the last 32 games of the season, and he told me I'm gonna fight hard for you because I was starting at that time for our team, and so I had to miss the last 32 games. Did surgery. The year after that, after having surgery and missing those 32 games, we had a lockout season, and I was a free agent that year too as well, and I was playing well. I was averaging 9 points, 5 assists, and so I ended up signing a 5-year deal, 20 mil, 5-year deal, 20 million, and not only that, but went on to win the Sixth Man and Most Improved, had Player of the Week twice in that season. So for me, it was amazing. It was an incredible accomplishment because I never really thought anything about any kind of award. I was just trying to really get back to playing basketball. And having this injury on the rotator's cuff, you just never know. And that's a baseball pitcher injury. And so I didn't know, but I came back. I was stronger. I was faster, and I just had an unbelievable year. I averaged 14.7 off the bench, 6 assists, like 3 or 4 rebounds, and next thing you know, I just saw fans with the 6-man signs, and I ended up winning not only the 6-man but the most improved. So very special to me. Never take that for granted, especially coming off a major surgery that I had on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. During your time spending in Orlando Magic, you were for many seasons starting point guard, and at this moment you are third in assists in the all-time Orlando Magic list. Do you think that there is a chance that Markel Fultz one day will be higher? Because we know him that he's very talented, but got some problems with healthy, especially this season is devastating. Do you think that there is a chance that he will come back and be such a successful in this aspect as you were in Orlando?
Who was this?
Markel Fultz.
Yeah, I mean, he's young. When I did mine, I was probably 30 something. He's right now at age still 24, 25. So he's real young, and he'll bounce back, and he's a good athlete. He's a strong athlete. So he'll get back to playing basketball and, doing what he's done before. And, it's just about him, rehabbing, doing the surgery, rehabbing, and getting that knee back stronger and trusting it. And, by the time you know it, he'll be back on the floor playing basketball and assisting and scoring and, doing all the things that he was doing before he got injured.
Mm-hmm. As NBA player, you were also a really good dunker, and I remember it from Orlando Magic games. You also attempting one slam dunk contest with this layup dunk. How did you feel after this situation? Because many times it's really hard to could be really hard to come back with the confidence and so on. Do you treat it only like a play, like a moment which doesn't matter, and let's go on, some laughing and come back to play?
Well, I mean, for me, that was the first year they ever changed the dunk contest rules, where I had to, all the participants had to do 3 dunks in a minute 30 seconds. There was no rest. There was no time where you just dunk and go sit down. I had to do 3 dunks in a minute 30 seconds. So I'm 5'11". They got me listed at 6'1", but I'm 5'11 and a half. And I was disappointed. Can't lie to you. That was the first dunk contest I ever came in last. I always been first or second. But what I did was I used it for motivation. Because a lot of people think if you can dunk, you can play, which is crazy because they think just because you have a good dunk or you can jump, you can play, and that's not so. There's more aspect to the game. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to play defense. You got to be able to do all the other things that this game is provided. This game is not all about jumping and dunking, but it's a great highlight, and I think that's what's excited a lot of people about the dunk contest and dunking. But for me, I was disappointed, but I used that to my advantage, and I showed, and I told myself I'm gonna show everybody in this world that not only can I dunk, but I can play, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. After being a starting point guard in Orlando Magic, you play in 4 different teams. How it was? How did you find yourself in a different role, not being a starting point guard, but more like a role player, like a mentor for the other younger?
Well, for me, when I got with Orlando Magic, my first 3 or 4 years, I was a role player. I had to come in and come off the bench, which I didn't have no problem with because I still can come in the game and change the pace of the game, change the tempo of the game, have an impact on the game with the way I played. So For me, even when I left Orlando, um, being a role player, that was nothing different for me. I was always ready to play, ready to come off the bench. Um, and from there, as playing as a role, especially the older I got, it really fit me to the T because I wasn't young anymore. I was 26 when I first got into the NBA. I played till I was 40. So for me, when I got to 34, 35, it was good that I didn't have to play every night. I could still play 60 something games out of 82 games. So that was good for me, and it didn't bother me. But even still, even playing with the Dallas Mavericks, when I got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, we had the opportunity to make the playoffs, get to the second round, and the next year, get to the NBA Finals. But end up losing it to Miami. But that's my ultimate goal was to get to the NBA Finals and win it. And for me, I didn't do it as a player. I got there twice as a player, but I got there once as a coach, and that was the time we won it in 2011 as assistant coach with the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm. And from 2009, as you mentioned, you were assistant coach in Dallas Mavericks, and you've got the chance to be in the team and also then coaching Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greatest player in the NBA history. How do you remember him as a player, as a leader, as a teammate?
Well, I mean, for me is I played 2 seasons with him, so I played beside him, I played with him, and I knew his game. I knew how he played. For me, it was fun. It was exciting. He was a worker. He knew how to put the work in and make it work for the next day when we had to play. So it was always fun to be around him because every time you turn around, he's in that gym. He's trying to get better. He's trying to stay on top of his game. And I was always excited that not only when I got to the team and Jason Terry got to the team as a point guard, they lost Steve Nash, and we was able to get him to a NBA Finals. I got him to 1, and then Jason Terry got him to 2. And for us to win it, it was great. It was tough always. It's always tough, and it stays in your head when we lost the first one. That's going to always stay in my mind to the day I die. So that's never going to leave me. But to have the opportunity to still get back and win it as a coach is also special too. But you always want to win it as a player, and I never had that chance. But I never forget Dirk after we got put out of the playoffs and we was in the locker room. In the back of the training room, he came up and he told me he said, "I'm sorry, man. I was trying to get that championship for you." But I appreciate how hard and the dedication he put in the game and put into himself to be good every night, be good every day, and that's all you can ask from a superstar and a future Hall of Fame. He put it out there and he did it well. And I'm always proud of him, and I'm always happy to say I had a chance to play 2 years and 2 seasons with him.
Mm-hmm. And now we've got in the roster Luka Doncic. When I look at him and how he developed, to be honest, I didn't have doubt about that he will be good or even a very good player before he attempt to NBA. After this few seasons, when I look at him, I've just got a really big question mark in my head. What is his limit? Because many times when you've got talented young players, say the sky is the limit. But when you look at him, I guess that there are some expectation, a lot of expectation from him. How in Dallas you look at him? How do you develop him, and how you work with such a major player?
Well, I mean, the thing you always look at is his potential, what he brings to the table. as a leader, that's probably his weakness would be a leader because he's still young. He's still learning how to lead. Right now the way he leads by his play and the way he plays the game. And when he learned how to be really vocal and talk to the players, his leadership will get him better. And but he's young. He's 21. Um, so a lot of this stuff is still new to him. You know, um, Even though he played for Real Madrid over in Spain, uh, now he's playing for a professional NBA team, and the expectation after the second season and this year here, this third season is, they picked him to win MVP. Is that pressure? Yeah, for sure it's pressure, but he likes that challenge. That's one thing I know about him. He likes a challenge. He relish and take on the challenge of proving people wrong. And so for him, he's continued to work. He's getting better and better every day, and he gets trapped. He gets all these different type of defense that sometimes it can weigh you down. But for us as coaches, we got to figure out how to continue to keep him going and how to continue to keep his spirit and how to teach him how to lead and all those things to make him one of the best to ever play this game. So that's our goal right now. And he's done a good job so far, and we got to continue to keep pushing him because he has another two levels he can get to.
Mm-hmm. It was because I saw your half of your last game against Chicago Bulls, and I saw great first half with a lot of 3-point shots, daggers at the end. I was a bit surprised about the final result, and also it was amazing when I heard that Luka Doncic said that it was my fault. It should be less egoistic. I should take care about team. It was really major for this young kid that he's still not flying, but he's on the floor, and he could blame himself about some bad game.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, he has to be aggressive. He has to be selfish. We had 5 guys out who's not with the team. 2 of them as starters, and 3 of them is our role players who plays. So right now we're playing with some young guys who's rookies and second and third year guys, but he has to shoot. And if he didn't shoot that day, and he played a great first half, we wouldn't have even been in the game. We would have been probably blown out by 30 to 40 points. But because he kept us in the game. He hit some threes, a lot of threes in the first half. It kept us in the game and gave us a chance. So, for him, I understand it, but at the end of the day, they pick you to be MVP for a reason. And MVPs have to do so much and a lot of things on the floor. And for me, it wasn't selfish. Everybody can't shoot the basketball. Everybody doesn't have that energy to score. So we did need him to score. I mean, that's how I looked at it, and I understand he felt like he took too many shots, but he didn't to me.
Mm-hmm. At the end, as an anecdote, I could say that in the last year summer, the second cat appeared in our house, and first we thought that it's a girl, but after a couple of weeks, something appeared between the legs, so we were sure that it's a man. And we've got really big problems with how to name this cat. And I remember that one day I woke up in the morning. It was the bubble time, and I saw Luka Doncic game when he scored 38 or something points and got also buzzer beater at the end. So I thought to talk to my family and told them, come on, it have to be Luka. So we've got Luka at our home. Darrell, last question. What are goals for Dallas Mavericks for this season? If you could tell us.
I mean, well, to win, it's always to win a championship. This team has been in the playoffs almost every year since I joined them, and as a coach, and then as a player, we went to the playoffs twice. My 2 years here, so it's always to win a championship. But at the end of the day, every year is a different season. Every year you have different players. So every year, can you see me? Okay. So every year you have different players. You have different situations. So it's all about finding your chemistry. It's all about playing to that high level at the right time when the playoffs come. And so we got a lot of work to do. We got to continue to get better and get better. And by the time playoff time come, we're in a situation where we're top 5 or better, and put ourselves in position to make a run from there. But we still got a lot of work to do, and we just got Chris Porzingis back, and he's going to be a big plus for us, and he's still getting in basketball shape. So just looking forward to that opportunity again this year. I thought we played well in the bubble, and that was Chris Porzingis' first time being in the playoffs, and Luka first time, and we end up losing Chris Porzingis to a meniscus tear, and so we lost him in the bubble, which he was averaging over 30 points a game, and that's a lot to lose when you're in the playoffs. So hopefully this year we can continue to get back to where we was last year and do it better and keep guys healthy.
Mm-hmm. Darrell, thank you very much. It was my last question. Thank you very much for your time. And I wish you a good night, and also said greetings for Luka and my cat, and also Sham Good, and another assistant in Dallas Mavericks. He played for a while in Poland. So again, thank you very much, and have a nice night.
All right, you too.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.